In global economics, some milestones signal more than just financial achievement. They mark a shift in how nations collaborate. The recent news that trade between Singapore and Africa has surpassed $20 billion is one such milestone. This isn't just about goods crossing oceans. It's about a partnership built on mutual respect and shared ambition over 3 decades. Singapore's transformation from a developing nation to a global powerhouse offers a blueprint for African countries seeking sustainable growth. This relationship is about more than resource extraction. It's about knowledge transfer, capacity building, and co-creating value. The $20 billion figure is a result of deep collaboration, not the end goal. Africa is integrating into the global economy on its own terms, with Singapore as a catalyst for innovation and opportunity. This partnership is pragmatic, focused on long-term vision rather than short-term gains. As new corridors of commerce emerge, the Singapore-Africa connection exemplifies a multipolar world where size doesn't limit impact. It's a story of 2 dynamic regions building a future together, grounded in practical progress. The real story isn't the headline number. It's the transformation happening beneath the surface. This is a revolution built on step-by-step progress, not grand pronouncements. The roots of this partnership go back to the 1990s, when both Singapore and African nations were navigating a new global landscape. It began quietly, focused on sharing knowledge and experience rather than big investments. Singapore's leaders saw Africa's potential, recognizing familiar challenges they had once faced. The Singapore Cooperation Program, launched in 1992, brought thousands of African officials to Singapore to learn about governance, investment, and urban planning. The goal wasn't to copy Singapore, but to adapt its principles, pragmatism, meritocracy, and execution to local contexts. Early collaboration also centered on port management and trade facilitation, areas where Singapore excelled. By helping Africa improve its gateways to the world, Singapore laid the groundwork for future trade and investment. These small steps built trust and became the foundation for today's economic relationship. Singapore's patient, peer-to-peer approach set it apart, proving that shared knowledge can be more valuable than capital alone. As ties deepened, Singapore shifted from distant model to hands-on mentor in Africa's development. African leaders sought to adapt Singapore's principles to their own contexts, leading to targeted projects in countries like Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa. In Ghana, Singaporean advisors helped reform the public sector. In Kenya, they shared expertise in digital governance. In South Africa, they offered insights on economic diversification. The focus was always on practical solutions and sustainable systems, not temporary aid. Singapore's role evolved into that of a facilitator, unlocking Africa's potential. The private sector soon joined in, with Singaporean companies investing in logistics, urban solutions, and digital services. This created a virtuous cycle. Better governance attracted investment, which brought more capital and jobs. The partnership became about building and growing together, with real projects delivering real results. It's no longer just about learning, it's about doing. In 2025, Singapore-Africa trade crossed the $20 billion mark, a leap from just a few billion a decade ago. This trade is now sophisticated and diversified, with Singapore exporting electronics, machinery, and refined petroleum, fueling Africa's industrialization. Africa's exports to Singapore have also evolved, with value-added products like Ethiopian coffee and Ghanaian cocoa reaching global markets through Singapore's hub. Singaporean investment in African agribusiness is helping local economies capture more value. Key partners include Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, and Kenya, each anchoring the relationship in their regions. The trade network is expanding to emerging economies like Rwanda and Ethiopia. Singaporean companies are investing in logistics, digital platforms, and sustainable urban development. Projects like special economic zones and industrial parks are creating jobs and attracting further investment. This is smart, patient capital focused on building Africa's economic foundations. The $20 billion is a signpost, not a finish line. The real impact is deeper economic integration and shared growth. Singapore's impact is most visible along Africa's coastlines, where its expertise is transforming ports. The Tema port in Ghana, revamped with Singaporean know-how, has become a model for efficiency, reducing ship turnaround times from days to hours. This modernization lowers costs, boosts competitiveness, and positions Ghana as a regional logistics hub. The ripple effects benefit businesses, consumers, and neighboring landlocked countries. Singaporean companies are replicating this success in other African ports, focusing on both infrastructure and digital systems. By building efficient gateways, Singapore is helping Africa integrate into global trade. It's about unlocking potential, not just moving goods. The Singapore-Africa partnership is future-focused, especially in digitalization and green energy. Singaporean fintech firms are working with Kenyan partners to expand digital payments and financial inclusion. In Rwanda and South Africa, Singaporean expertise is shaping smart cities, integrating traffic, waste, and water management for sustainable urban living. Digital transformation is paired with a green agenda, as Singaporean companies invest in African solar and renewable energy projects. This aligns with Africa's push for climate resilience and low-carbon growth. Singapore's resource management experience makes it a natural ally in sustainable development. These initiatives attract global investors and build confidence in Africa's future. The partnership is about building frameworks for long-term inclusive growth. Beyond trade figures, the real value of the Singapore-Africa partnership lies in knowledge exchange and human capital. The Singapore Cooperation Program has trained thousands of African officials, building skills and networks that underpin economic ties. Scholarships and business forums further strengthen these connections, creating a new generation of leaders fluent in both regions. Events like the Africa-Singapore Business Forum foster deal-making and collaboration. This constant dialogue builds trust and drives long-term investment. By investing in talent and innovation, Singapore is helping Africa prepare for the future. The partnership looks beyond the next deal, to the next generation. Which African nation will be next to unlock its full potential through this partnership?